You know those stereotypes about Americans not knowing a thing about Premier League football?
Heck, you could fill 2 internets with what I don't know about football.
Well, I'm about to reinforce all those stereotypes. Welcome to Zwenyul's Waybacks Premier League Prediction 2021-22 edition.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
My first ever Premier League predictions. What could go wrong? What's happening, boys, and welcome to my Premier League prediction video. That is right, today being Friday. I am currently in New York with Zwebe. It is her sister's wedding, so I am there for a few days, and this is one of those videos that I had on the channel ready for you guys to watch while I was away, and I thought I would do something a little bit different today with the Premier League starting. I believe Arsenal are playing Brentford, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing tonight at 8 p.m., and I thought I would upload this in the morning and have a cheeky Premier League prediction episode here for you guys. This is, if I'm being honest with you, I don't follow the Premier League that closely, but I do know it a little bit. I'm not going to be claiming to be an expert by any means. This is not going to be any 30 or 40 minute in-depth breakdown of the predictions. I just want this to be a fun little epi that we can have a conversation about. Maybe you spark a conversation in the comment section below, and just a little epi that maybe we can look back at the end of the season and see how close an American got to predicting the Premier League. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. If you like my Norwich top, smash like on the video. If you think Norwich can finish top 10 in the Prem, smash like on the video. And if you think Southampton are going to be a top 15 club with Adam Armstrong, in my opinion, one of the most solid signings of this Premier League transfer window, summer transfer window, smash like on the video. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below, and we could make this a yearly thing. So I've got this little site over here. It is the, I believe, FOTMob is the website that I'm going to be using, and it looks like a pretty cool interface. I wish that it actually had everything as blank, and then you can fill it out as need be. But this is actually, I believe, how everyone finished in the previous season. So Manchester City first, Manchester United, then Liverpool. But the way that I thought we would start this is I thought we could start it from the bottom. So starting with the 20th place team, obviously the bottom three are relegation, are going to be the teams that get relegated back into the championship. Again, these are tough ones to call just because I don't know too much about the championship, other than Norwich was first place, Watford was obviously second, and then Brentford was third, as we can see here. I am going to have, and just because the Premier League is such a difficult league to stay up in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have Watford be, I'm going to have Watford as the 20th place team. Again, I don't feel like they added too much, as did Brentford. Specifically, it's tough for these teams to come in. They don't have the money exactly to compete with the Premier League teams. I think the money kicks in at the end of the season if they manage to stay in. But Watford and Brentford, I'm going to have them both at 20 and 19. I love myself a cheeky Brentford with Ivan Toney, absolute legend. The only reason I know him, if I'm being honest with you, is because he had that team of the season card in FIFA, so he must have done something pretty special. But Norwich is a team that I'm paying particularly close attention to for a few reasons. I am actually going to have Norwich all the way up at 13, so I'm going to bump them all the way up to 13. That's probably pretty high and probably way higher than most people are putting them, but they have a German manager in Farke. They also have themselves Timo Pukki, who isn't, I don't think he's maybe cut out to be a Premier League striker. I think he's kind of proven that, even though he has had some success up there. But they also signed the American lad Josh Sargent, and then they also got themselves, who the heck did they get? Yeah, Norwich got Sargent, Pukki, and then they have Billy Gilmore, the Scottish kid, right? He was like one of the OP players of the Euros, a really good young Scottish player, and I think he is going to be the three of them, specifically Sargent and Billy Gilmore. I think they'll be a pretty solid spark, and who knows, maybe Pukki can reclaim his form. He wasn't long ago where he was banging in goals in the Premier League, so will be interesting to see if they're able to maybe regain a little bit of that early form from, I believe it was like it was not last season but the season before. I'm pretty sure it was Pukki that was banging goals early. Didn't Pukki in the 2019-20 season score a couple of goals versus Liverpool in the opening game? Again, this is, the Premier League is not my bread and butter. I'm more of like a Bundesliga Serie A guy, but again, I just wanted to have a little bit of fun and take a stab at some predictions here. So I'm gonna have Watford, Brentford, and then I'm actually gonna have Burnley. Right? Traditionally, Burnley are a team that do everything to not, they do everything possible to present themselves as the team that doesn't want to stay in the Premier League, but they somehow always avoid relegation. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take a stab. Maybe this is the season that Burnley gets sent down. And again, I don't want this to be personal for any teams. Vize, if you're watching this, I don't want this to be personal for anyone, but a prediction is a prediction, and I just kind of want to, sometimes just want to do a little prediction that might be a little bit different than the norm. So I'm going to have Burnley be the 18th place team, and we are going to move on to the 17th place team. I'm going to actually have it be Crystal Palace. They're moving on from Roy Hodgson, and now I believe it is Patrick Vieira who is the manager. They have Eze, who is, I believe, injured for the entire season, but they also have Zaha, and then they also have Benteke, two formidable guys up top that I think are going to be able to cause problems for a lot of teams. But I don't think this is going to be a team that's going to be challenging for a mid-table position. I think this is a team that's barely going to escape relegation, and I have Crystal Palace in 17th. And they also signed this guy Olise, something like that. If you guys know about him, he seems like a pretty decent signing. It seems to be making the circles, seems to be making the rounds in some of the transfer talk rounds. So moving on, we are going to go with Southampton in the 16th place spot. That is obviously a club that is near and dear to my heart. They also have a German manager, Hasenhüttl, and they also signed themselves Adam Armstrong for, I believe, a pretty affordable price. I don't know what it was, but I love Adam Armstrong. I used his what-if card, and he scored 54 goals for me in Weekend League, and for that reason, I do not think that they are going to get relegated. Southampton appear to be a team that a lot of people are pegging for relegation, but because they have Adam Armstrong and because he is near and dear to my heart, and they also have a German manager, I think they are going to be, they're going to be up there at 16th. Now, a 15th place, I am going to have, not going to change anything here. We're actually going to have, Brighton Hove Albion, who, one of the reasons I love this club is their badge looks really cool. I know that they're in the southeast coast of the UK. It's like a beach town, which sounds pretty cool. They also signed themselves a really promising player from, I believe it was the Japanese J-League from Kawasaki Frontale. His name is Kaoru Mitoma. They signed him on a 4-year deal. I believe he's 24 years old. They need a little bit of attacking, need a little bit of assistance there. Now, they hit the post. Well, the famous thing about Brighton that I remember from last season, 6 posts against Manchester United, and they are apparently the XG merchants, which apparently is a stat where the amount of chances they created, they should have scored way more than they did. And if we go over, it's actually kind of crazy if you look at Brighton. They had a -6 goal differential, but somehow managed to finish 16th. Look at all the other teams around them. -22, -21, -25, -16, and their Brighton are in 16th with -6. They just were not able to finish chances, and hopefully this guy, Kaoru Mitoma, is going to be able to help them both create and score chances as well. They lost Ben White to Arsenal. A lot of people are calling him an overrated signing, but I think that is definitely maybe going to hurt them a little bit. They signed a guy from the J-League, like I said, good management. They still have Dunk, Webster, Veltman, and Burns, so they're not going to be hurting too much. And as you guys can see, only conceded 46 goals in the Prem, so that's pretty decent. And if they convert on just like 10 or 15% more of their chances, and then continue to not concede that many goals, who knows? We might be able to see them be a mid-table team. So we're gonna have them at 15th. I think there's just a lot of questions surrounding Brighton. Moving up next, we're going to keep it exactly as is. Wolves, aka Wolverhampton. They lost Nuno to Spurs, and then they signed, I don't know who their manager is, if I'm keeping it a stack with you. They're getting Jimenez back, so he's obviously going to be huge, but then they also lose Patricio. So I think the loss of Nuno and Patricio is going to hurt Wolves, and I see them finishing around 14th place. Again, really, what's the difference between 14 and 12? I'd look at this more as zones, right? You've got relegation zone, then kind of the teams that are like really, barely scraping by 17 to 15, maybe 14, and then the mid-table teams kind of like, between 13, 12, and maybe like 9 or something like that. So these could really be in any order. Don't take any offense if you're a supporter of either of these clubs, but Wolves, I think they lost a little bit too much. Specifically, losing Nuno, I think, is a little bit, is going to be painful, and we're going to see if they can... We're going to see if they can finish around where they finished last season, which I believe was 13. Yeah, Wolves finished 13. I have them finishing just 1 place behind. Now, Norwich, like I had alluded to before, we already tackled that one. They're currently, I have them pegged to finish 13th. And then moving on to 12, to Marshall's delight, we are going to actually have Newcastle. Now, if they sign Willock, they're currently in negotiations. By the time you watch this video, maybe they get him, maybe they don't. But is Willock going to be the thing that keeps them competitive? They finished, I believe, what was it, 12? So we're actually having them stay exactly where they were last season. Not too much has changed. They still have got Gucci Mane. They still have one of the most passionate fan bases, and I think that goes a long way, especially in a year like we had in the past year and a half. The fan base is something that I think a team can rally around. And like I said, still have Gucci. If they get Willock, nice young player, I believe 21 years old from Arsenal, would be a good signing. Is he going to make the difference? Who knows? But if that did happen, if they did get Willock, maybe I'd move them up to 11th. But I've got them currently in 12th. Now, moving on to 11th, I'm actually going to put Leeds there. Leeds finished, I believe it was 9th place, so this is a bit of a downgrade. Nick, if you're watching, don't be mad at me on this, but I think there's a lot of questions surrounding Leeds. Bielsa, I don't think there's any questions there, but Patrick Bamford, can he stay in form? Calvin Phillips, can he stay healthy? Because that team literally runs through Calvin Phillips, and if anything were to happen to him, I think they could just spiral, and it's one of those teams where they can finish as high as probably 7th or 8th, but then they can also probably get pretty close to the relegation zone if things go poorly. But they've got a manager in Bielsa who I don't think is going to allow that to happen. So have Leeds in 11th place. Now, we've got Aston Villa, and I am moving them as high as 8th place. Now, I know that there's some people that are going to put them a little bit higher. I mean, Aston Villa, I would say, are probably the most hyped team in terms of players. They just got Ings. They've got Buendia from Norwich. They have already Ollie Watkins. They have Leon Bailey. And then they also got Tuanzebe. So they have a plethora of options to create goals. They lost Grealish. And I think one of these bold predictions is maybe losing Grealish was the thing that needed to happen in order for Aston Villa maybe to take that next leap. I mean, they made a whole lot of coinage. I'm talking like this is a FIFA, this is an SBC. They made a lot of money off the Grealish signing, and we're going to see if they can put that to use. They already seems as if they're doing a good job doing that. I think Aston Villa, the sky's the limit for them. And again, signings, Ings, Buendia, Tuanzebe on loan from Manchester United, and then Leon Bailey, which I think is the icing on the cake, being a Bundesliga boy. I just love seeing that. So we're going to have Aston Villa at 8. Now on 7th, I'm going to have my beloved Arsenal all the way up to 7th. So Aston Villa, we have them. Hold on. Aston Villa, we have. Wait, did we skip? We had Leeds. We had Leeds in 11th. And then 10th, I'm going to have West Ham. Okay, so we're going in order. I forgot that we're going in order. Now, West Ham, Antonio, there's an issue with him and his injury. Can he stay healthy? Losing Jesse Lingard, going back to Manchester United. He was at West Ham, after all, just on a loan, so now he's gone. The goals, where are they going to come from? So West Ham, I'm going to downgrade them a little bit. I don't want that to seem too harsh. Really, it's not an indictment on West Ham, me putting them at 10. It's more of what I think about the clubs that are above. So we are going to move on to the next club, and that is none other than Everton. Rafa Benitez at the helm, which I think is the best part and the most promising part of this upcoming Evertonian season. They finished 10th placed last season, -1 goal differential, scored 47, conceded 48, and they won 17, drew 8, and lost 13. So I think Benitez, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I absolutely love Rafa Benitez as a manager, just an awesome dude, and I think he's going to be good enough to get them that +1 spot. Was 10th last season, and I think they go up to 9th this season, which is a progress of a sort. Now, we just talked about Aston Villa. I actually have them at 8th, so we don't need to talk about them anymore. Moving on to the 7th spot, I'm going to have, like I said, my beloved Arsenal. I love Arsenal because of Arsene Wenger. Listen to his audiobooks and all the stuff that he talks about. I love his coaching and footballing philosophy. He's just a super interesting dude, and I think this is going to be a make or break season. The reason that I have Arsenal this high, I think some people might even have them at around 8 or 9. No European football, so it's going to be full dedication to the Premier League and the domestic leagues. So I think it's going to be a make or break season for him. Are the boys going to step up? So Arsenal definitely have their work. Arteta specifically has his work cut out for him. Be interesting to know, if they, fail to finish maybe top 8, or maybe, are they expected to finish top 6? If they, what's going to happen to Arteta after this season if it's a disappointing season? Because Arsenal fans have been starving for, getting back to those glory years. So Arsenal, I have them in 7th. 6th place, I'm actually going to bump down Leicester. I believe Leicester finished 5th place, so I don't have them downgraded too much. I have them at 7th place. Fofana injury is kind of crushing. They have Brendan Rodgers, obviously, as a manager, incredible manager. But Premier League is filled with so many great managers. Obviously, one of, if not the best leagues in the world. They still have Harvey Barnes. They've got this guy Soumare, the French midfielder, who is apparently a lot of things are expected from him, and they have really, really good depth. So this might be a little bit too low for some people, but I feel comfortable putting them at 7th, just behind. I'm comfortable putting them at 6th, just ahead of Arsenal. So that's exactly how I wanted to line it up. So we've got Everton, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Leicester, and then in 5th place we are actually going to have Spurs. Now, Spurs are an interesting, I think Spurs are on the cusp of being a team that can break in the top 4. The thing with the Prem is, it's the top 4, top 5 teams. It's so difficult for an Aston Villa or an Everton or West Ham or Leeds or even Leicester for that matter to break into the top 5 because it is so top heavy and super competitive up there. Now, still have Spurs, new manager in Nuno. Mourinho out, obviously has gone to Roma. Does Harry Kane stay? And I think a lot rests on that. They signed the Serie A Defender of the Year, Romero, and is that going to be enough? Holding on to Harry Kane, then having a signing that shores up the defense a little bit, is that going to be enough to keep them at 5th? I think they still have the quality to be able to get it done, and Nuno was an absolute G, did bits at Wolves, and I think he will do the same in London. So moving on, we have ourselves 4th place. Now, Manchester United supporters, Habes, and anyone that supports Manchester United, this is not a shot at Manchester United at all. It is Jadon Sancho and Varane. You can make an argument that they might be favored to win the leagues. And if I'm talking about the top 4, if I'm keeping it a full stack with you, this could go in any. I mean, Manchester United could win the league, Chelsea could win it, Liverpool could win it, City could win it. Yeah, any of these teams are talented enough. At the end of the day, it comes down to injury and a whole bunch of factors that are out of the control that no one can really predict at this point in time. But I mean, if anything, Manchester United look ridiculous on paper and should definitely challenge for the title. I mean, that goes without saying. I just happen to have them at 4th, just because I think Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea are that crazy that even a club as stacked as Manchester United may just end up finishing 4th in the upcoming season. Speaking of, probably the most unpopular thing that I'm going to do on this prediction, I'm going to have Manchester City in 3rd. Now, some people were saying, who is their striker? They didn't really have a striker last season. They still had Aguero, right? But he was injured for a little bit. He wasn't the full-time striker. They won the league without a full-time striker. So I think that argument kind of flies out the window. Didn't make too many signings outside of the craziest signing outside of Messi. Literally signed on the same day, Jack Grealish for 100 mil. And it'll be interesting to see. Is he the guy that's going to, is he the guy, it's kind of counterintuitive, right? They won the league last year, but is he going to make the difference to help them win again? In my opinion, I think Manchester City finished 3rd. Like I said, just because I rate Chelsea and Liverpool so highly. I know this is going to be maybe somewhat of an unpopular opinion. Chelsea finishing 2nd. I can already see the dislikes on the video just because that means that Liverpool is obviously going to be 1st, but Chelsea obviously signing Lukaku, retained most of the team. Werner, Kai Havertz, and Lukaku up top. I'm assuming they're going to figure out a way to get Werner in the squad as well, or maybe they rotate out Lukaku or Werner, but Werner for the German national team has played the winger position, so maybe they figure out something where all 3 of them can play. So the goal scoring issues that Chelsea had last season with Lukaku, the caliber of player that he is, had a rough patch there in the Premier League, and I think he's probably going to be hungry to come back and prove himself, and I think he will do exactly that. But are they going to be able to, they just won the Super Cup, they won the Champions League, so it's a team full of confidence, but are they going to be able to get it done and do everything possible? And again, they've got Conte, they've got good evening Conte, so a very obviously solid side as well with Tuchel at the helm. However, I think that Liverpool is the team that is going to win the Premier League. And again, with the top 4, I think any of these teams can really challenge for it. But for me, the thinking is it was just 2 seasons ago that Liverpool absolutely destroyed the league. And now they have a healthy VVD. Some people say he's over the hill. I personally think that he's still going to be really, really good. They still have Matip. They get Joe Gomez back. And then they sign Konate and still have Jota, as well as all the other depth, Salah, Mane, Firmino, and the like. So I think Klopp, I think the message that Klopp probably is instilling in this Liverpool squad is, hey, listen, last year was a weird season. We had Fabinho and Henderson for a time. There was like an adjustment period where they were really, really struggling. And I don't think they're going to have that adjustment period. They're going to come flying out the gates. And I think they won 6 in a row to end the 2020-21 season. And I honestly, it just, with a lot of these predictions, it comes down to a gut feeling. And I just kind of feel like Liverpool are ready to kind of pounce. A lot of people are talking about Manchester United. Everyone's talking about Chelsea and Lukaku and Manchester City signing Grealish. But Liverpool really didn't add that crazy of an amount. You know, they got a defender, and then outside of that, nothing too crazy. So I think Liverpool are going to be that top level team that maybe, I don't want to say surprise because it's Liverpool, but I think they go ahead and take the title. So I hope I haven't made too much of a fool of myself. I know I'm prone to do that. It's not too difficult for me to do, but took a stab at it, and I thought we have a pretty respectable little. Table here. Southampton, going to keep them up with Adam Armstrong. Really excited to see how Brighton, specifically, really excited to see Norwich, and then Aston Villa with the minus Jack Grealish is going to be really interesting to see how they end up playing. So yeah, that is the Premier League prediction video. I have a couple bold predictions. Lukaku Golden Boot, Burnley maybe survives. I know I have them going down, but maybe Burnley survives. And then how about Aston Villa wins more without Grealish? So that's an interesting little take. I think that was untradeable fodder in the chat that said that. But yeah, that's going to do it for my prediction episodia. Again, just more of something fun to look at. Maybe, see how this whole prediction pans out at the end of the season. If Liverpool win, it's something I can showboat, and we'll see how it pans out. If you guys did enjoy, smash like on the video. If there's anything you disagree about, I'm sure you've already let me know. Or if there's anything you're upset about or happy about, I'm sure you would have already let me know in the comments. And it will be interesting to see what the dislike ratio, the like to dislike ratio is on this episodia. But that is going to do it. Just a fun little epi on a Friday. Again, I'm in New York with Zwebe. Her sister is getting married, so we are there having a grand old time, and I will be back Tuesday, and business will resume as usual. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys for another upload tomorrow. Till next time, bros. Tschüss. Later. Ade.